Hello. So I am just doing my usual thing, trying to make sure I'm in the right place. How is everyone tonight? It is another, oh, that's just bizarre. What I'm seeing. Okay. All right. So happy Wednesday. And it is what, July 4th Eve, if there's such a thing. um, Yeah, so it is absolutely gorgeous. Welcome to my craft room. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that lives in Minnesota in the United States. And I'm so glad you're here. Let's see. Yeah, so a lot of towns have changed their 4th of July celebration to tonight because there's going to be a lot of rain tomorrow. So it's typical for Minnesota. So we adapt. Anyway, tonight I am going to use one of the new online exclusive sets. It's called the Frosted Forest Bundle, and it's super cool. I am a big, I just love leaves or trees and that kind of thing. So I was really excited to see this bundle. And this bundle not only has a stamp set and dies, it also has some decorative masks. So that's pretty cool. So there's a lot of ways you can use this bundle. So I'm going to show you what inspired me today to. So this is, I'm going to change it up here a little bit. So this is a card that I received in a swap a while back, and this card was made by Carol Wick, and so it's a easel card. So it's just a fun card, right? So it's really cool when you get this. You can, see it on your desk, and it's just a real pretty layout, right? So I am doing something like this with this bundle. Let me show you the bundle first. So this is the stamp set. Now they launched a whole bunch of new online sets. So that just started today. So you want to go online and check them out because they are so cool. Here, let me switch it to this. It's a little better. Okay. Yeah, so this is the set, and I love the artwork. I like how it looks like needles, and it's just kind of, I don't know, I just like it. I like the fonts, and yeah, so that's the stamp set itself. And then the dies, which I don't have them all in here because I'm actually using a lot of the dies, but you get two birds, you have your pine trees that go along with the stamps, you get this tree, and then you get like a skeleton of the tree and the dies. So it's pretty cool. So, and then the sayings are awesome too, because it's no beauty shines brighter than that of a good heart. Thinking of you and how you strengthen my life. Birthday wishes as for a day as great as you are, and thank you. So I really like the sayings too. That covers a lot. And then you have, now I have two sets of this. I ordered the bundle, and online the bundle says that you get all three products. I must not have realized that because I ordered this on its own too. So how these work, it's pretty cool. So you have these plates, and each one there's a tick, and you line these up. You have numbers, so this would be your first plate. So if this was your paper, here I'll use the back of this. if this was my cardstock, I would lay this first. I would tape this down, and then I would do my stenciling. Now you can spritz your ink on here. You can use chalk, ink, glimmer sprays. You can sponge your ink or your paint. You could trace this with markers if you wanted. You can emboss using Versamark ink, which is a clear sticky ink, and then you would use embossing powder. You would stamp it up with your Versamark, remove this, and then put your powder over it and then heat emboss it. Or you could lay this down and you could use embossing paste, which would give it another dimension. So this would be your first plate. Then you would, you'd have this tape down. You would put your second plate down in the same spot. And then you would do this layer for your dimension on your tree. And then you would use the third one, and of course it would be all still lined up. I'm just kind of just showing you this as a quick tutorial of how to use these plates. And then this would be your third layer. So when you get done, you have this really in-depth picture. So there's the tree, that's one set, and then you also get both of the pine trees. So this would be your first plate, and this would be your second, and this would be your third. So you could be doing, say you could make this a winter scene. This is your first couple layers, and then this could be snow, is how I think of it. So those are some ideas. So that is also part of this bundle. And so you can use those in any way you want. So it's pretty cool. So I think what I'll do, and I'm sorry the light's not very good tonight. I forgot to charge one of my lights. It's like, just realized that. So tonight we're going to use a couple different things. I'm going to use the embossing folders that I'm going to use are on page 129 in the catalog. This is the Timber embossing folder. So it's great. It's got really nice wood grain look to it. So that's what we're going to use for the background on part of our card. And so the base is basically your 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper cut in half at 4.5, and that will give you, your base. So your base is 11 by 4 1/4, and we're going to score it at 5.5 and 2 3/4. So I think before I do the scoring, I'm going to actually run this through my embossing folder. So you have a little space that doesn't have any embossing design, so you don't want to go over that. And then this also has a little space. So I'm just going to line this up, and I'm going to run it through my machine here. So your sandwich for embossing, this is a 3D folder. So I'm going to use just my main base, and then I'm going to put my embossing folder and my cardstock in, and then I'm just going to use the number 4 plate, and that says the instructions are right on the plate here, so super easy. So I'm going to run that through. All right. And so I have this really nice wood grain here. And you can use either side, whatever you prefer for a look. So while I have my machine up here, I think what I'll do is I'll do my cutting of some of my other stuff here. The embossing folder, I think that's all we're going to use. I am using another embossing folder, and I'll show you that in a little bit, but I'll show you why we're not going to use it again. All right, so I have some trees here. I'm going to run through. Guess I can go crooked, it doesn't matter. And I've got a skeleton here of a tree. So I'm going to run those through. Oh. Ready? And so this one is one of those dies that actually does not cut out. So I will be doing that when we start putting this together. And let's see here. We've got our skeleton. And then I have to do, I am going to do 3 of our big, strong oak trees, or whatever these are. I guess it wouldn't be an oak tree, it's probably a pine tree. Like a great big one. Let's see here. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, how can you fit 3 of these great big trees on a little card? I'll show you. And so I'm going to do a second one, and then I'm going to do my last one. I'm going to actually stamp an image. Ooh. And then for the third one, I'm going to have to stamp my image. And I've got that here. I'm going to move this out of the way. Geez, a lot of clanging around tonight, huh? How is everyone? Has anybody got any big fun plans for the 4th? Can't believe it's July 4th already. I am using pecan pie. Okay. Get a good impression. All right, perfect. All right, and I'm just going to take this off to the side, and I'll cut my 3rd tree then. Oh my goodness. Has anyone had a chance yet to check out the online exclusives? A lot of really fun sets out there right now. Today's the first day, so everything should be in stock. It's uneven. I have to do this. Alrighty. Okay. And then there was another die that we're using, and I already ran it through because it's pretty detailed, and I just didn't want to take a lot of time to poke out all these little holes. But this is part of the tree greenery, so that's pretty fun. All right, so I think we've got those pieces cut. Let's see, what happened to my skeleton? It's amazing how I lose things that I just, seriously had. Okay, here it is. So the cardstock color that I'm using is Crumb Cake, and the ink that I was using is Pecan Pie. And then the tree cardstock here I'm using is Early Espresso. And so for this one, I'm going to take my snips and cut this one out. I'm just going to cut like this, and then I'm going to cut it off here. And then you just kind of gently peel it out. All right. We just have a couple little pieces that are stuck in here. All right. So we have, all right, I think other than that and a couple other little things we got to cut out, we're pretty much ready to start assembling here. So like I said, our card base, I'm just going to stick these over here. Our card base, we're going to score it at 5.5 and 2 3/4. So let me get my scoring tool here. So 5.5. Make sure you're not cutting. I've done that before. All right, and then we have 2 3/4. All right. I have a dog that is like glued to me right now. She's gonna trip me yet. So then we're just going to fold this over and score that really well, but not too hard because we do have our design of our wood grain. And then this one as well, we're going to score. All right. So then the inside, then we're just going to have a 4 by 5.25, which is typical of your inside of your card. So I'm going to go ahead and place that in here. Now I chose to emboss the whole 6 inches. I like how when it turns over, you have that little bit of wood grain carrying over through to the back. So just thought I would mention that. Whoops. And a lot of times I don't adhere my inside panel until all my stamping and everything is done, but we're not going to be stamping really much on this at all, so I'm going to just go ahead and put that in. All right, so now we're going to do some decorating here. So my tree, I'm going to have a green layer, and I'm also going to have a skeleton on here. So this is going to just be building up this tree, so I have some dimension, but I'm going to color this first. And so I'm going to use my water painters, and I'm going to take and use this cardstock is Mossy Meadow. So I wanted another different green underneath to just kind of give it some depth, right? So I'm going to take my paint brush, and I've got a bunch of ink pooled in the cover. So I'm going to take my brush, and I'm just going to, get some water in there and just kind of color it in. So I don't know if you can see that very well. Better. So I'm not going to be really picky about it, and just want to get some color behind. And it's okay if it's darker in some areas and lighter in others. It's just, that's natural, right? And this will curl your paper a little bit, so I can dry this with my heat gun, and that will kind of take care of some of that curling. I'm going to add some more water. You can see the paper starting to curl. So I'm just going to use my heat gun. Okay. All right. So I'm going to close that up. Alrighty, so this is gonna be a little loud, sorry. I use my tool here so I don't necessarily burn my hand off. Okay, nice and dry. And it's pretty well flat. It's pretty nice. All right, so we have that. And you can see that's got a lot of dimension and stuff in there. So then I'm going to attach a skeleton here. And I'm going to do that with my liquid glue. I love using liquid glue. It's just so nice because you get some wiggle room, and you're not committed when you lay it down right away. So once you get the flow going, that's the tricky part. There we go. Little clog. Hey, Darcy. Oh, thank you. Aren't they fun? I love these fun nails. They're so fun. Thanks for watching, Darcy. Do you have big plans for the 4th? I was supposed to go tonight. Excelsior was having theirs tonight because of the weather tomorrow and stuff, but it's just, yeah. Didn't quite make it out. I still could, maybe. All right, so I'm just going to kind of just anchor that in there. And another thing that's nice about liquid glue is it does dry clear. But, you know, there we go. They don't have a whole lot. And then on top of that, I'm going to adhere my foliage or my leaves and stuff. And I'm going to use that as well. I'm going to use just in the spots that kind of have a little bigger space, and I can just tab some glue on. Glue's very sturdy. That's what another thing I like about it. You're pretty much not going to have stuff falling off when you use liquid glue. Let's see. Uh-oh, Trouble just walked in the door. My mutt that has a problem. He is a problem. He's my problem. All right, I think that's enough to kind of make it just hang in there. And we're just going to line this up. And there we go. Nice, huh? So that gives that tree a whole lot of dimension. And so to make this a stronger tree, that's why I cut the 3. I want this to be able to be sturdy. So I'm going to attach the other 2 behind. I just want to make sure I get my points kind of covered with ink, or not ink, but glue. Okay, so we got 2 layers. Nice and thick. And now I'm just going to do the same for the 3rd one. All right. And there we have it. That's a nice thick tree. Now that will be able to withstand the card the way I'm going to have it set up. All right. And then we have this. And let's see, I'm going to need to, I don't like how that cuts right there. So I'm going to cut this a little more even here. Kind of always making noises when I'm crafting, I tell you. It's kind of funny. Hopefully this will work. And might do one more swig through. So note to self, when you put it in sideways, you might have too much excess on the bottom. I mean, if I had something that was going to be layering over that in that spot, I wouldn't care. Because I don't. I want it a little more even. So that's better. Okay. No mistakes in stamping, right, guys? We can fix anything. All right, so I'm going to do a layer about like here. And maybe I'm going to move it over a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to glue this down, but then I'm going to leave some on the edge because I'm not going to totally use all of it. And I'm just going to use some glue on just the very bottom of the trunks. And I'd say go about here. And there we go. So I'm going to cut off my little excess here. All right. And then I'm going to take, now see, that's what I like about having excess or some little wiggle room. I want my trees to be a little more. There we go. That should work. All right. And then we're going to take and pop up our tree on dimensionals. I'm going to use the small dimensionals for this, and then I'm going to go all the way up the trunk of the tree, and then just a little bit of the lower part of the branches. Just checking to make sure you can't see. And then I'm just going to go down real close to the lowest branches so that I can attach this to the card, because the rest of it will be suspended in air. Oops. All right, so if I have this right there, and so when the card is actually closed, it's still going to be able to fit in the envelope. I do need to move it over just a smidge. All right, so that's about right. So I'm going to take off the paper. How many people have dogs that freak out with fireworks? Actually, mine don't really, which is surprising because they freak out about everything else. Kind of doesn't make sense. All right. Nice, huh? I like it. All right, so then the next part of our card. So this is where this other embossing folder comes in that I used. This embossing folder is also on page 129 in the catalog, and it's also a hybrid, which means that it's a Stampin' Up! Embossing folder, and it's also a it has dies. So this is how I laid it out. So I took a 6x6 sheet of paper, and then I put that, I put the actual dies. And the thing that's cool about this, all these sayings are cut with one die. So that's super cool. And so you take it and you lay it until you hear it snap, and then I know it's in place. Now this is if you want to cut out and emboss at the same time. You can totally just emboss this if you'd like. You know, but this is pretty cool. And then the dies also have these cute little accents that you can use also to decorate up your words. Super cool. So this is the Thoughtful Moments hybrid embossing folder, and then these are the Thoughtful Moments dies. So because when I did this, I laid down a whole 6x6, I got all these sentiments cut out at once. So I'm going to use those to finish this card, so it'll be a little different than the other card that I did. So let's see. I will show you what the dies look like. The embossed dies. So this one is with sympathy. I'm so bummed that the light's not that good. Let me see if it's charged very much yet. Better? It might not last very long. But that's with sympathy. This one is celebrate. And so I'm going to use that one for this card. This one is thinking of you. This one's just because. Thank you. Oh, happy day. Get well. You make me happy. And then the one that I used for my other card was a big hello. So isn't that cool though? You can cut all those sentiments using a 1 through. You don't even, you know, and then now I have these for another card some other time, right? So that's pretty cool. I can add that to my stash of stuff. So we've got celebrate here. So I'm going to add that. Let's see, how should I do that? I can do it at an angle, like celebrate. Or I could pop it up on double the dimensionals and get it up higher. Oh, that would work too. All right, so we'll play with that later. So I'm going to do a sentiment, and I'm also going to do a bird. So I'm going to use, I'm going to use Misty Moonlight because that's the color of what I used for my words. So I'm going to take and make my bird a Misty Moonlight bird stamped on the crumb cake. And then I'm going to use the sentiment, because I'm going to use celebrate. I'm going to use birthday wishes for a day as great as you are. Oh. And I'm going to stamp that on a piece of white cardstock here. All right, so I'm going to put that on. Oops, sorry. All right, so I've got those done, and then I'm going to cut those out. You get a little bird for as one of the, you actually get 2 birds in the die set, which is kind of fun. So I'm going to put some tape down on that, and then I'm going to use, you guys have seen me use these a lot. It's the Love of Spring dies. I've been using that quite a bit, so this is also in part of that die. Super fun. So I'm going to use that for this. And let's see. All right, I'm going to run those through the machine quick. And this one I'm kind of just making up as we go here. I mean, it's following the same card I designed earlier, but just kind of, we'll see how it all looks. All right, so there's my bird. And there's my sentiment. All right, so let us, oh, and then another thing I did is I didn't like, I mean, I like, you know, that it has the definition of the letters, but I wanted them to pop out a little more. So I did Wink Stella on the letters. So I'll do that real quick. You wouldn't have to do this, but I just thought it was kind of a nice little touch. Gotta have bling, right? It's just what we do. Even if it's for a guy, they like sparklies. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And this also gives it a little more dimension because, you know, I'm not coloring all of the background. I'm just coloring the actual letters so they pop out a little bit more. Almost done here. All right. See, that just gives it that little bit of bling. The letters stand out a little bit better. All right. So I think I'm just going to pop this up because I want to kind of see where I want to place that celebrate. And I think it'll make a difference based on where I put, this tag here. And of course, the sentiment has to be up on dimensionals because that's what's going to keep this up and standing up. Oh my gosh, I got about a gazillion lights on. I'm just like, I feel like I'm melting. It's like, whoa. All right, so I want this to be up nice and high. So I'm going to put this about right there. All right. So our celebrate, I think, because I've got the, I don't know, do you think? I'm going to put them up on dimensionals. All right. Throw some dimensionals on the back of this. It's kind of nice. This background isn't cut out, like the letters aren't so, just strictly the letter, that there's a little background, because it'd be very hard to do this with just the bare writing, if that makes sense. All right, and then I'm going to take one and I'm just going to cut it in half because I want that C to have some stability, because that's going to stick up there. So hopefully there we go. All right. I think it's good enough. All right. All right, and then we should have our bird somewhere. Let's see. Where do you think the bird should be? Could be mid-air, could be on here. It has to be flying this way, otherwise it'd be flying upside down. For the heck of it, I'm going to put it up in the tree. We'll try that. So, I'm going to have to cut it. All right, we will throw her right in here. Super cute. All right, you guys, what do you think? I think that is such a cool card. And it doesn't really show the sprinkling or the sparklies very well. So when this is closed down, it will fit in your card, in your envelope. And then when they have it on their desk or at home, whatever, they will have it and they will be able to see it like this. It will be standing up. So I think that is super cute. So the other one that I did when I was just kind of coming up with something to do, this is the other one I did. And that says, hello, thinking of you and how you strengthen my life. So, and yeah. So, I hope you like that. They're very cool cards, I think. And especially for guys, you know, we kind of are limited sometimes to what we can make for them. And so, and that doesn't necessarily have to be a guy. I mean, I love nature, right? So, I just wanted to let you know too that it's bonus days that started today, and you every $50 you spend in July, you get a $5 coupon, and you'll get emailed this coupon, and you'll keep them all, and then from August 1st to August 31st, you can spend them and put them all together and get a great bonus discount, right, on your products. So don't forget about that. Don't forget to go online and look at all the new online exclusives. There's like a bunch of stuff, and I have a bunch of stuff, and I'll probably be showing those in the weeks to come. Everybody have a safe and wonderful 4th of July, and we will see you next week. All right, take care. Bye.